In what was a very valiant effort for both Copenhagen and Manchester United, after extra time, all the controversies in the world, a penalty, Manchester United have finally seeked their way into the next round of the Europa League. But I gotta be honest, man, this game was boring. I woke up at 5 a.m. and to be honest, this game in the first half nearly put me to sleep worse than when I was actually asleep. So that's how badly that first half was. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a Manchester United versus Copenhagen match reaction. The 1-0 match reaction went into extra time. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments, did you think that was a good performance from Manchester United? Are you happy that we progressed? And where do you think we will go from here in the Europa League? We have to verse either Wolves or Sevilla in the next round, which I believe that game will happen tomorrow or earlier today. I'm not really sure when that game takes place, but we'll know in due time exactly who we're facing in the next round of the Europa League. Now, Manchester United, I have to be honest, this game was so boring. Like, this was not an entertaining watch by any stretch of the means. Now, I'm not going to say that we were outright bad, but that first half was absolutely dreadful from Manchester United. From start to finish, we were poor FC, can't get a shot on goal. I mean, we got an offside goal from Mason Greenwood, but besides that, there's absolutely nothing to be proud of in that first half. Genuinely nothing. Yeah, were we the better team in the first half? Honestly, I don't think we were. I think Copenhagen were a much better side, created very, very good opportunities in the first half, and they probably deserved a goal. In the second half, I think we dominated them in the second half. However, missed opportunities, a lot of unlucky finishes. I think we hit the post 3 times. Their goalkeeper was sensational. And we ended up having to go into extra time and get a penalty for Manchester United. Now, I hear a lot of people in the comment section of social medias and all of this talking about how we are Manchester United. At the end of the day, I'm not going to say that the fans are right or wrong, or even opponent fans. Either I heard that Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans and Man City fans are all talking about how we got a penalty today. Look, if it's a penalty, then they don't have a leg to stand on. If it is a penalty, a rightful penalty, and everybody agrees it's a penalty, then those fans don't have a leg to stand on. They're just going based on their emotions and not what's actually being presented to them. If it's not a penalty, and there are a few that have been called for us that should not have been a penalty, then they have the right to talk about it. At the end of the day, if it's not a penalty and we get the penalty, that's when they have their leg to stand on. That's when they can talk about the rubbish decisions that are given. But this was a penalty. It's an obvious one as well. It's not like he made as clear as day. He pulled back Martial. Like, what more can I say about the penalty? I mean, I know a lot of Manchester United fans don't want to be known about Manchester United, don't want to be known about the team that gets a lot of penalties. But at the end of the day, when they are penalties, you can't get rid of that. You can't just say, no, we don't want the penalty. You can't. It is a penalty. We took the penalty. We scored the penalty. Bruno Fernandes scores the penalty. Martial was the one that caused the penalty. It was a great finish. He took it very differently, Bruno, compared to his other penalties. But overall, I think we did a fairly decent job in extra time as well. I think we were much better in extra time. I think we were absolutely destroying them in extra time. It's a shame we didn't get more goals. We probably could have scored 3 or 4 in extra time. But nevertheless, life moves on. We do advance into the next round. And I've said it so many times, it doesn't matter how well we perform in cup competitions. The aim is to win and get into the next round. So yeah, we will probably still get bantered for going into extra time with a team like this where we should have been running through them. But in the end, we have qualified into the next round. We're still in the European competition. We still have something to play for. Yes, if we play like this against Sevilla or Wolves, it might be a different story. But we can focus about that on another time. Right now, we can celebrate the fact that we have gone through to the next round of the Europa League. We're getting one step closer to the finals. One game away, and then we reach the final, man. So that's what we need to set our sights on. A lot of players have done more harm than good taking it to extra time. I'm sure the extra half an hour that we did play will do absolutely wonders for the other teams. If they don't go into extra time, we will have a half an hour disadvantage. But hopefully with the quality of the team that we do have, and hopefully we show more of, we should be able to do fairly well going into the next few games. Anyway, we'll go into the player ratings. To be honest, just to give you my my 2 cents on the matter, I didn't know who my man of the match was until extra time. Pretty much. Like, this team was very, very poor in the first half. In the second half, they were better. But still, I was just so undecisive. I just didn't know who to give it to. But in extra time, it made my mind extremely clear. My eyes opened. I saw a brand new perspective on the game. And I really enjoyed it as well. I really enjoyed what I saw out of some of our players in extra time. We'll go into the goalkeeper position. Sergio Romero didn't have anything to do. I don't even think he made a save. A lot of the Copenhagen shots were off target. So he's going to get a 6. Look, he didn't do anything at all. So I can't really say that he deserves better than a 6 or even worse than a 6. The guy kicked out from the back well. But yet again, Sergio Romero, well-trusted goalkeeper. We backed him. We always will back him, just like we backed De Gea, a lot of us. He is a good goalkeeper that deserves to play in cup competitions. I hope to see him in the next game as well. Give him the opportunity to get a run out, man. He well and truly deserves it. So let's see where that goes. A 6 out of 10. And Wan Bissaka as well also gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Defensively, the guy was sound, you know. He wasn't really attacked on his side much because I think they knew that if you were going to attack the right side or the left side for Wan Bissaka, you were probably not going to get past him, and that turned out to be the case, man. Crosses, denied. Tackles, left, right, and centre. There was one situation where he made a tackle that he didn't make, and they got past him. But besides that, Wan Bissaka was rather safe today, was calm, was beautiful, to be honest. It was a good performance. I don't think it was anything higher than that. He didn't really do anything offensively. 2 crosses into the box. One of them should have been a goal. The other one was just no one was there. So, yeah, look, I think he gets a 6. He hasn't done anything to say that he's improved. He's played better than in the Premier League over the past few games. I think people are starting to stay away from Wan Bissaka, and that's why he's getting reduced performance ratings, because if you keep trying to attack his side, he just gets the better of you. So people just stay away. So he doesn't really have anything to do. Going into the centre-back pairing. The centre-back pairing, in my opinion, were extremely, extremely shaky. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to go with this. I will start with Eric Bailly. I thought Eric Bailly did fairly decent. He got a yellow card, so did Harry Maguire. He did get subbed off, Eric Bailly. To be honest, this is tough because, again, we were the dominant team in the second half. But in the first half, both players were not good. Were really not good. So I think I have to give Eric Bailly a 6 here as well. I just don't see where he went wrong, to be fair. Same with Harry Maguire. I don't see exactly where he was wrong, but they were just so shaky at the back in the first half, and they were part of the reasons for that. They were defending very, very deep. They allowed Copenhagen to get into the box. And a lot of the times they were scrambling to get shots away, to get shots blocked. And a lot of the times they didn't make it. So, yeah, Harry Maguire and Eric Bailly get a 6. As I was talking about Harry Maguire as well, in the extra time, I think he was absolutely essential. Harry Maguire booted a lot of corners out of the box, which is exactly what we have him for. His passing was good, Harry Maguire, as well. But again, I don't think he did enough to get an above average rating because besides the first half was terrible from all of our team, but it's our centre-backs especially, and even our CDM to an extent. We'll get to Fred later, but yeah, like that entire back line, maybe bar Brandon Williams and Wan Bissaka, the 2 centre-backs were very, very shaky and were often out of position, had to scramble, and that's not what you want to see, especially with a team like Copenhagen that they're not the best attacking side. They do love to attack and they press us very well, but in the end, they're not an attacking side of great capabilities, and it just ended up being one of those games. They just didn't perform. So I think it's 6 as well, because in the second half in extra time, Harry Maguire did perform very, very, very well. And he did what he was supposed to do. He got into the game comfortably in the second half. Brandon Williams, in my opinion, was by far the best defender of the game. He was easily the most attacked out of the fullbacks. They definitely attacked the young Brandon Williams. And Brandon Williams is a young leader, man. He comes and he stands up to the challenge. He attacks the challenge. He thrives the challenge. And I thought he was by far worked the hardest on the team. He was by far the one that gets the most tackles, the most interceptions. Was he beaten a few times? Yes, he was. He was beaten a few times by the right back and by the winger. solely because really he was attacked so often. Of course, he's going to get beat here and there, but I think majority of the time he stood up. He was far and away, in my opinion, the best defender on the team today. I'm going to give him a 7. I was going to give him the man of the match until extra time, but in extra time, someone stole my heart, man. Like, genuinely, someone, they legit just took that man of the match away from Brandon Williams and gave it right to him. We'll talk about that later as well, but fair play to Brandon Williams. In a game where we needed him to step up, he did so very, very comfortably. I'm happy. I'm happy that Brandon Williams got a performance like this. Now, I don't know if people are going to agree with me or not on his performance, but I truly think this is going to be, hopefully, a confidence breaker, a confidence maker, so he can actually develop on a game like this. I hope he gets praise for this game. I hope people agree with me when I say that he was one of the better players on the team. If not, oh well, we move on. It's not going to be the end of the world, but I hope that he can build on this performance and have an even better one in the next game, because we're going to need him. We're going to need all of our players from here on in. The competition gets harder after this. So if we're going to struggle here, we're going to struggle in the next game as well. So we need to be ready. We need to be willing to take opportunities. We need to be willing to stop our the other players' attack and defense. So we need to be ready. And Brandon Williams, we hope that he'll be ready in the next game. Now, Fred. Let's go on to Fred. Fred is difficult for me because usually with his performance, I would probably give him a 7. But the reason I'm giving him a 6 is solely because of the turnover he committed in the first half. That first half turnover nearly led to a goal. It made Eric Bailly and Harry Maguire have to scramble, and he didn't really get back. Look, he played the CDM position, honestly, I thought he played the CDM position very, very well. He did exactly what Matic does. He helps the centre-backs out with the passing. He fills positions that often, if the players want to go forward, he often fills their position. He did exactly what he was told to do. Those instructions were clearly set. You could tell that he was trying to do what Matic does in the CDM position. However, that pass... Look, that was probably the only turnover I saw him make. But that pass is the reason why he's not our starting CDM. That pass, if he can remove that mistake from his game, which he can do, he can easily be our starting CDM and he can easily be our backup CDM, and we might not even need to look for one. That's just the way that I feel. Look, he played well besides that turnover. That's just my opinion. He did. But that turnover alone takes 1 point away because it was a terrible turnover that nearly led to a goal. And we can't keep having the same situation with Fred where he turns the ball over at the CDM position that leads to a goal. We can't. We just can't keep having those situations. So the more that we see it, the more that I need to call it out and the more that it needs to get fixed. It's as simple as that. Look, I really rated Fred's game today, and on any other day, I'd give him a 7. But that mistake was terrible, and it really pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. It made me really angry because I really rate Fred, and I still do rate Fred, but you expected better. And he could have had a near-perfect performance if it wasn't for that turnover, man. That turnover really took things away from me. So we're going to have to move on, man. It has to be a 6. He wasn't bad. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't a 5, but he definitely wasn't a 7. He just wasn't. We'll move on to the Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Pogba, in my opinion, had a good game. I really do believe he had a good game. I think he was by far the best midfielder on the team in today's game. That doesn't say much because I don't think Bruno was great. I don't think, obviously we saw that Fred was good, but he just wasn't, he made too many mistakes. Paul Pogba, in my opinion, played a very simple game. Had a few shots on goal as well today. He created the plays. He held the ball up. I thought Paul Pogba was very, very good today. I would give him a 7. I would give him a 7. Of course, when two of your midfielders out of the 3 play badly and Paul Pogba is the one that plays good, it's not really reflected in his performance. Like, you don't see it as much because not everyone's playing well. So in the end, that kind of puts the whole team down. But I thought Paul Pogba was men among boys, really. He was the man among the boys in that midfield. Yes, I know I just called Bruno Fernandes, the goal scorer, a boy, but if you're being realistic, Paul Pogba had a much better game than Bruno Fernandes. I think Paul Pogba could have got man of the match today, but yet again, taken away from him. People might disagree with me. I'm not going to say that my word is gospel. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on Paul Pogba, but I genuinely thought that he had a good game today. Yes, he didn't get a goal or an assist, but he did his job well. Again, he's a CDM. He's playing as a CDM for us. So the fact that he's doing what he's doing at a CDM position is great. It genuinely is. It is good. So we'll leave Paul Pogba at a 7 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes, I was going to give him a 5. Could have even been a 4. The reason why I'm going to give Bruno Fernandes a 6, obviously, if you look at the second half, he had a shot that was saved. I'm pretty sure he had a shot that hit the post. Again, he didn't make too many... he made a lot of turnovers. He didn't really get too many passes through. The first half from him was terrible. Most of the time, he was non-existent. And when he did get the ball, easy passes he didn't get through. But in extra time, we saw a completely different Bruno Fernandes in extra time. Again, Copenhagen were going all out attack, and we finally had some space. And when Bruno has space, Bruno creates opportunities. He made Wan Bissaka look absolutely sensational. Martial all of a sudden came to life. Rashford was making runs, and all that happened because Bruno Fernandes was creating. And he finally got the space to actually go and create instead of just being compact, have to make some Hail Mary passes, miracle passes. Instead, he actually had opportunities and space and runners to go and get the ball. And that's why we saw a different Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, he scored the goal and the penalty was great. Took it by surprise. I didn't think he was going to do a regular penalty run-up instead of the jump. He did that. He surprised the goalkeeper, scored a goal. He always makes an impact. Doesn't matter how badly he plays. He always makes an impact. Penalty position or not. It's beautiful to have a player like that, to know that you can rely on them to make an impact no matter how poorly they play. That's what I really liked about the Bruno Fernandes signing, and that's why if we could get more players around him to make him better, we could see more of an impact. Going into the attackers, by the way, yeah, Bruno gets a 6 if I didn't say that before. I'm pretty sure I did. Going into the attackers, Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood should have got a goal. It was offside, unfortunately. Could have been easily a different story if Mason Greenwood scored that goal and accounted within the first half. Easily could have been a different story. But he gets a 6 as well. Look, the reason why I'm giving him a 6, again, he did nothing wrong. Absolutely, Mason Greenwood did nothing wrong. But I just feel like I feel like the right wing is kind of not his best position. Now, I know he's played there the entire season. He's got a majority of his goals from that position. But I feel like with a player of that caliber, you expect him to play up the middle a little bit more. Maybe even allow him to cut in a little bit more. Maybe not play as an out-and-out right winger, as more of a second striker. You know what I mean? And I just feel like we kind of nullify what he can do on that right wing. He doesn't really deliver crosses into the box. It could have been many times where he could have, but he doesn't. He's not that kind of player. And he's playing with Wan Bissaka at the right wing. Both of them don't really deliver crosses. So he kind of had an average performance. Again, he should have scored. One shot, one goal. That's what I expect from Mason Greenwood. He had his shot. It was offside, unfortunately, but he got the goal. So that's why we need to keep playing him. It's as simple as that. And he did get substituted, I believe, at extra time for Wan Bissaka. So he didn't play the whole game. Again, he's a young lad. Probably was tired. Probably wanted to be rested for next game. We're going to need him next game. So I understand that as well. But again, I thought it was an average performance. Now, Marcus Rashford, on the other hand, I thought Marcus Rashford was probably one of the worst players on the pitch. I just don't know what form he's in. He's clearly not in great form, but it's not even just that. It's the fact that some of his final ball is not great at all. Some of his shots were Hail Marys. He made good runs. He always makes good runs. He didn't really beat a man today, except for one incident when it was a fast break, a counter-attack, and he got fouled. I just don't know. Like, again, is Marcus Rashford really a left winger? And it's another question we can ask ourselves. Of course, we need to play these players there because Martial is just a fantastic striker. But I'm going to give Marcus Rashford a 5. I am going to give him a 5. I don't think Marcus Rashford was good today. Maybe people disagree with me on that one as well. I don't really know. But look, you have to face the facts here. Marcus Rashford has been up and down since his return. He's had great games. He's also had games where he's not really been shown. This is probably one of those games where he didn't do too many bad things, but he wasn't really existent, and he did create a few mistakes, a few misreading passes, made some wrong runs. In the end, Marcus Rashford, we know what he can bring. He's still a very dangerous player. He was dangerous today as well. It is what it is, man. We have to move on from that. And again, he gets a 5 out of 10. Anthony Martial, man of the match. He was the player that in extra time absolutely just took it and made it very obvious for me. I didn't know who I was going to pick until that. Now, obviously, it's not just the penalty, man. This guy's movement is insane. Even when Copenhagen didn't necessarily park the bus, so it actually gave him the ability to grab the ball and move, grab the ball and connect, grab the ball and link up the play. He made great dribbling runs as well. He was a joy to watch today. No goal. He probably should have deserved a goal. A lot of shots. That goalkeeper, I believe he's a former Man United goalkeeper, correct me if I'm wrong, was absolutely sensational on their behalf. So you have to give credit where it's due. Also, Varela, the right back for Copenhagen, former Man United player, did very, very well against Marcus Rashford. So you need to give credit where it's due. Credit to Copenhagen for giving us a great fight. They definitely deserve the credit. But Martial was just a joy. He made defenders look silly. Final ball was good. Should have got a goal. In my opinion, he's man of the match. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me on that one. I think that's fairly straightforward. Again, I could be wrong. People could give it to Bruno. It's up to you guys. So that is the starting 11. Now, if we go into the substitutions, let's see if I can remember this. So first off, we had Victor Lindelof to replace Eric Bailly. Victor Lindelof was pretty much what you expected him to be. He's very stable. Passing was good. He held off the ball very well. Didn't have much to do. So I think a 6 out of 10 is very, very good for Victor Lindelof. Now, we got Wan Bissaka for Mason Greenwood. I don't think that's the next one, but that was definitely one I need to talk about. Mata was tremendous. Mata was very, very good. Now, this could just be because it was Copenhagen in extra time, but when Wan Mata came on, he looked like the Wan Mata of old. He really did. He was faking players. He was doing skill moves. He was making creative passes. He had a few shots on goal. He could have easily scored a goal too if he just hit one on target. So yeah, look, I'm gonna give Wan Mata a 7. He was tremendous coming off the bench. Do I think he needs to play more often? I think in the Europa League he could definitely do a job. He could definitely do something in the Europa League. He shouldn't be starting. But coming off the bench, I don't see why Wan Mata can't be coming off the bench. In the end, he's called Magical Mata for a reason. The magical feat of Wan Mata. Eventually, no matter how much of a decline you go into, in cup finals and cup situations, you expect the magical players to create something. And Mata is a magical player. He creates things. We've all seen it. Chelsea fans know it just as much as well. Wan Mata is still a good player that can contribute in some way. Is he a starter for Manchester United? No. He's probably not even a bench player on the Premier League. But in the Europa League, he can do things. The competition, the teams are not as quick. Maybe Wolves, you shouldn't play him against Wolves, but maybe even with Sevilla, he could definitely play that game. So let's see where that goes as well. Maybe Ollie changes his mind and just picks Wan Mata next game out of the extra time performance. I don't know. I will have to back Ollie with whatever he does, but I do think he should keep the lineup more or less the same, bar maybe Matic playing instead of Fred. Let's see, who else? There was Scott McTominay, that's the third one. Didn't have much to do at all. He had like 2-3 minutes in the end. It did 6 out of 10, didn't do anything. Jesse Lingard, to be honest, I had no idea Jesse Lingard was on. I was trying to set up the video for the last 4 or 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I just see Jesse Lingard in the free kick wall just standing there. Then he ends up making a hell of a run that didn't really lead to anything. So Jesse Lingard gets a 6 as well. It is what it is, man. He didn't really show that. He didn't really do anything wrong. He didn't do anything good either. It's just the way that it is. When substitutes come on late, they don't really have the chance to go and make a name for themselves, do they? Matic for me was not that good. He wasn't. He turned the ball over a lot. And we talk about Fred turning the ball over. Matic does it a lot as well. And maybe this is just a one-game thing. Maybe it's just because he's been rested for so long that his form's gone away. But I don't think Matic was particularly great. Like, if I had to pick between Fred and Matic to play the next game, I don't think Matic is a shoo-in to play. again, he's probably a better overall CDM. I think he reads the game better than Fred. But if you're talking about who had a better game here, it's apples and oranges, really. Like, they both didn't really take the opportunity at the CDM position, did they? So, look, again, he's going to be a 6. But he definitely had a lot more time than most to go and make a name for himself in this game, to go and take that CDM position and to prove that he's going to be the starter for the next game and into the Europa League final. But he just didn't really take it, did he? He turned the ball over a lot. Sorry, I'm rambling here. It's 8 in the morning, man. Like, I'm tired. I'm pretty sure there's one more player that I'm missing here. Am I missing? I don't know. I don't think I am missing a player, actually. So I went through Jesse Lingard, Lindelof, McTominay, Matic. Did anybody else come on? I seem to be drawing a blank. So I guess that's going to be it. We'll go to Ollie's team rating. His team selection. I'm surprised how close I actually got. Besides Eric Barley, I got the team nailed on. So fair play to me, man. Pat on the back for me. I'll give it an 8. Yeah, look, I'm not going to say that it was overall perfect. I mean, people were still suspect about Fred, Romero as well. People probably suspect about a lot of things in that game. Maybe even Harry Maguire. I don't know. I thought the team selection was perfect, but the tactics maybe as well could have been different. Team performance, the team didn't play well today. You have to be real. Yes, in the second half we were better, but in the first half it was terrible. So it's average 6. Extra time, Manchester United was a 9. Like, that was a great extra time performance. But again, extra time doesn't always come. We can't be relying on extra time and penalties to get us through to the next round, and then a round after that, then a round after that. Yes, it is a penalty. I can repeat the whole stew all over again. It is a penalty. If any fans are complaining, any rival fans are complaining, watch the game, watch the foul. You know it's a penalty. Keep your mouth shut. That's basically what I have to say about that. But again, we probably need to do better if we're going to survive the next round. It's as simple as that. We do need to do better if we're going to survive the next round. We can't keep going and starting out so slowly and expecting to get results. If that was Wolves, if that was Sevilla as well, Sevilla's a dangerous team. If that was Sevilla and we start that poorly against them, do you really expect us to go into the half 0-0? Questionable at best. Really questionable at best. If we play that poorly in the first half against Sevilla, I expect the tie to be over. Same with Wolves. So let's see where that goes. That's going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Turn notifications on. How did I do? 8 in the morning, sleep deprived. Still getting videos out for you guys. Anytime, any place, man. That's the goal. Work very hard to get exactly where I am. And I hope to work even harder going into the future for Manchester United. I'll see you guys in another video. I believe I'll be talking about Jadon Sancho later today, because there's been interesting news about that. I'm sure you guys already know about it, but I'm going to give my opinions, because it is a very up and down situation. Have a wonderful, safe day. I'll see you guys in that video. Take care and peace.